Game Masters, welcome to ScoreRunner. This is a Google Sheet I've created for the community to help us spend more time playing and less time dealing with admin. I built it to solve the problems I've had as a game master, and it's grown a great deal over the years. I hope you enjoy it. Please provide any feedback. This first tab gives you links to all the key tutorial videos and quick reminders of the things that I'm about to walk you through. Now, the first thing you don't want to do is decide which rules you're playing, right? And so here is a cheat sheet that's available to all your players and yourself. If you want to see how gather info works, just hit the plus sign. You can see the rules. Those are the deep cuts rules. These are the vanilla versions of the rules. Go through and decide which modules you want to be vanilla, which ones to be deep cuts. And not only will this cheat sheet update, but all of the specific parts of the character sheets will update too. So if there's a special ability that has to do with gather info and you've chosen deep cuts, then from now on, those special abilities will display the deep cuts versions, so on and so forth. So you don't have to go and copy and paste specific things out of rule books. You can just count on it being there. This tab is your session 0. A great best practice if you're not familiar about it. There's links to some videos to tell you about them and how to take advantage. So you can just have all your players have the conversation, record the key information, especially around safety tools. That can be recorded for you here. You're going to spend the vast majority of your time here on the GM tab. This has been, you've got a die roller up in the corner, but more importantly, you've got a series of public clocks. If you want to share what the threats are for the coming roll, you can do this. And anything that's in this section here or in this section here where it says public is mirrored onto the players tab. So if you notice here, the players tab off to the side, they have a section where whatever you've typed there is automatically mirrored. So if there's an alarm clock or a countdown clock or something for your score, just put it in here and they will be able to see it. They don't have to flip back and forth, and neither do you. To use a clock, you can just give the description of it here. This first box is how many ticks. The second box is the size of the clock. And this is a drop down. You can pick 4 tick through 12 tick. If you do something that has just the number, then you get the traditional circle/pi clocks. If you use something that ends in a G, then you're using the geometric clocks that I like to use that have green. I like to use the geometric clocks and green for positive things that you want to count up, and the red clocks as negative things that you don't want to count up. But you can use it any way that you like. Let's put that back, and we will have what the players need. Then over on here, you'll notice there's a series of plus and minus signs. You can collapse or expand any section to put it out of your way. This section is a series of clocks that are private to you. Now, anyone who clicks in this tab can see it. So, you'll want to trust people or just sort of shrink it for when you don't need to see it and you don't want people to accidentally bump into it. Though there's no reason for players to come to this tab. All right, so now over here is a side-by-side comparison of all the character sheets so that you don't have to go clicking back and forth like, oh, I need to look at the crew tab and I need to go see, PC 1 and then player number 2 and player number 6 and how did that compare? That's the problem I was trying to solve. So instead, you can just come here, and here is the crew sheet boiled all down, the key elements, what their rep is, the heat, wanted level, their cohort health, and what kind of categories they are, what upgrades they've selected. If they pick crew contacts, that'll start to populate. The special abilities that they select are populated right here for you. You even get to see a miniaturized version of their claim map. Now, of course, you can go over to the crew sheet and see all this in detail, but if you just want a quick cheat sheet, that's what this is designed for, this first panel. And then all of these other panels are for all of the player characters. There's room for up to 16 player characters. Now, no one's playing with 16 player characters, but characters die. Characters go on benders, and we need to have a backup character come in. Sometimes campaigns can be long, and players come in and out, and other players. So we just wanted to make it that you wouldn't have to worry about it. You can just give the tab to the player, tell them to start using it. And what's important is the player has this kind of screen with all the details that they need in one place without a whole lot of scrolling. But then when they filled in the information, you have the cheat sheet version. So here's a sample character I put in, Reagan, who's a spider, and you can see at a glance what his stress is compared to all the other players' stress. their action dots versus everyone else's action dots. If it's gray, it's because it's 0, so that it's easier to see the ones that actually have some skill in something. If anyone has any level of harm, there's this bold coloring that makes it obvious both down here, and their nameplate changes color to match, so you can remind them to take the penalty and or to invoke the harm. Their load and special abilities, friends and rivals, all that key information will populate here for you so you can grab it. And when it comes time to do XP, you've got the reminders of what their XP triggers are here and their progress on their XP clocks. And even the role play elements with character profile pictures and descriptions, all that stuff also all mirrors over here automatically for you. And you're not going to need all of these, so you can just use the minus sign to collapse the ones you don't need. And what I recommend you do is you come on over. Let's say you only have 2 people playing on PC1 and PC2. You can just click and then shift click to select all the tabs, then hit the drop down and hide the sheets. And then those sheets are out of the way, won't be blocking you or the other players from getting to the action. You can always come over here and unhide a grayed out tab. So you can see there's a number of grayed out tabs. A lot of these are tabs that do the guts behind the scenes you don't want to see that make this thing run, but you can reopen any tab just by clicking on the grayed out tab here. So you'll notice that the PC tabs 1 through 8 have this red bottom because they are optimized for a desktop experience like this, what you're seeing here in front of you. But tabs 9 through 16 have this purple underline. They have been designed for a mobile experience. So if you have players that really prefer to mostly interact with their character sheets on mobile, then this entire experience has been optimized for them. There's a separate video that you can watch to show how to take advantage of it. The important point is they can choose whatever they want. They just need to use the same one. They can't have a desktop experience and a mobile experience and have them talk to each other. The sheet isn't that smart, but it is smart enough that if they primarily use a mobile experience, they can now have an experience that's optimized for them. And you still have all the information mirrored. So if I hop on over here to PC9, that information is mirrored over here. You can see some slight different formatting to help remind me and you that it's the mobile experience. And this is now going to allow you to very easily help the players notice who maybe has a special ability that could help out in this situation, who might have a load available or an item that could be really helpful in this situation. All right, and then towards the end here, so the other tabs I want you to notice is if you use the die roller, there is a roll log built in. The factions tab lets you keep track of all the key faction interactions the crew is having. So if they're interacting with the billhooks or any canon faction, I received permission from John Harper and Red Hat. It's very kind of them to put this information into the Google Sheet. So all of their default information comes right across, and then you can just give them whatever status they have with the crew and however many ticks are on the relevant clocks, and everything will update automatically. Let's say you have a homebrew crew, like maybe you want the Magpies to be involved. Then you can just type them in. You can ignore this little red thing, just means you're not using one of the ones from the drop-down box, which is completely allowed. Then you can give them whatever tier and hold you want, the appropriate faction status, objective, so on and so forth. You can give them their own clock. The Magpies were probably trying to defeat a demon at one point, right? And so now I'm going to say that they're 0 out of 12 ticks for that one. And so doing this, you can give your players one place to look and you one place to look to see where they are at in terms of interacting with any key factions. If you want to do something that's more than pure theater of the mind, you want to do something like fate-style zones, this tab has been designed to let you do that. There's a dedicated tutorial to show you how to do that. Just click that link and you'll see how that works. But this is a drag and drop little interface lets you do it. Next up, you want to take advantage of the Names tab. Gives you a whole lot of NPC names. Akarosi, Noble, Dagari, Aruvian, so on and so forth. I just reckon you do a strike through when you've used one, so you remember not to use them again. There are also printable versions of the character sheets for players that really love to do it on paper. They can still fill it in here initially and then hit print and then start editing from there. And I think that gives you everything you need to really take advantage of this resource. So use it. And please provide any feedback on how to make it a better experience for you and your players. Thanks, and good gaming.